Today we're going to cover the top 11 fishing tip basics you need right now to start catching more fish. Okay, the first tip is you always want to have at least 2 fishing rods with you whenever you go fishing. If you lose one in the water by a big catfish dragging it in, or you break one or you break the tip, you're going to be stuck out there with nothing else to fish. Also, before you start fishing, you want to make sure you got enough line on each of the spools and your rod eyes are completely straight, especially if it's a 2-piece fishing rod, or you're going to get a line tangle. No bueno. And always make sure your drag is properly set. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Tip 2, you've got to be a knot tying pro. You do not want your fishing knot to fail you when you've got the trophy of a lifetime on. You'll never forgive yourself. That's what this segment is for. We're going to tie the uni knot. The uni knot is the strongest yet easiest knot to tie, and it'll never fail you. So go ahead and thread your line through the hook that you're going to be using, and make sure you give yourself enough line to use for the knot. That's called the tag end. So we're going to take that tag end and we're going to make a backward, downward loop here while holding on to all the pieces. And then we're going to take that tag end piece, okay, that you see standing up here, and we're going to wind it around the loop here 5 times, okay, going through the hole, holding on to all the pieces. 1, 2, 3. I'm only going to do 4 here, but you want to make 5 knots and then hang on for a sec. We're going to take the top of that tag end and pull all the way just until the knot is formed. Then this is very important. We're going to take the line and pull it all the way down until the knot is formed. That's it. That's all there is to it. The live night crawler is the best bait for any fisherman to use to catch virtually any fish you're fishing for in that lake. The natural smell and wiggle of the worm is absolutely desirable to every fish. But here's a real tip. You see all those little holes there? You want to make sure you use a pinhead and open all those up so that the worms are able to get enough oxygen, or they're not going to survive. So the first thing you want to do is remove this sticker there that's blocking a lot of the holes, okay? And the next amazing tip to make sure your worms are as lively and thick as possible is to put them in the refrigerator for a couple days or a week before you go fishing. I promise you, you'll catch more fish because they'll be more lively for them. No. What are you doing blaring loud music while you're trying to fish? Are you crazy? You might as well just bring your electric guitar to the lake. No, stop. Fish have great hearing. They're going to hear you. You got to be stealthy when you're moving next to the pond edge. Just approach quietly before you throw your bait in, or they'll be long gone. The best example, how many deer hunters do you know are up in the tree stand blaring loud music? Answer, none. A deer hunter is afraid to pass gas up there, let alone make a sound. Do the same when you're fishing. Be quiet, be stealthy, you'll catch more fish, okay? Folks, make the switch to braided line like Joe and I have done. It's super strong. It's super sensitive. It will allow you to feel everything the fish is doing underneath the water, and especially even more so if you've got a good graphite rod. And with braided line, there's no memory, there's no stretch, which means you're not going to get backlashes and line tangles. And while you're at it, switch out to blood red hooks. Blood is the color of red. It's the one that bass see best, and it mimics wounded or dying baitfish or prey. Okay, folks, frozen cheese-filled hot dogs catch virtually every freshwater fish that swims. And if you've watched a lot of our videos this year, you certainly know we've caught a lot of snapping turtles, red-eared sliders, and painted turtles on them too. Any of the above, cannot get enough of these. But what you want to do is make sure they're frozen. That way they always stay on the hook better and you can cast them out farther. And not only are they a cheap bait, the combination of salt, fat, cheese, and protein is like caviar, especially to catfish, bullheads, and channels. So bring some frozen cheese hot dogs with you next time you go fishing, and I promise you, you're going to catch fish in that lake. Never leave home without your fishing net, folks. Whether you're fighting a crazy fish like you see here at the pond's shore, or you're out in a boat and you don't want to lift up the fish because if it's too heavy and you don't have a net, it's going to break your line. Always prepare yourself before you go fishing. Never leave home without your trusted fishing net. The beautiful thing about fishing is you never know what you're going to catch, right? That's the joy and mystery of it. But I promise you, if you land the lunker of a lifetime wherever you're fishing, and maybe you're not with a buddy and you don't have a net, you will never forgive yourself. My number one recommendation to every fisherman is to change every hook you have into blood red hooks. I even snuck one of those messages in earlier in the video if you caught it. Blood red hooks will outperform any brass or steel or any other hook you have. It's proven science. Fish will attack the color red, which mimics blood or a wounded or dying bait fish, more so than a regular hook. So swap out your worm hooks, your jig heads, crankbaits, jerk baits, snelled bait holder hooks, everything we've been showing you here. Everything that's got a hook, make it red. The other interesting thing is that the color red mimics the gills of a bait fish, and that's what a predatory fish is hunting after. Open and shut case. And you also never want to leave home without your polarized UV sunglasses, right? Because the sun has a way of bouncing off the water and becomes extremely harmful to the eyes. And you probably already know that a really good pair of high-end polarized glasses will help you see fish swimming in the water. That is obviously particularly useful if you're sight fishing or looking at spawning beds. And they really help with ice fishing and protect your eyes from stray hooks if you're fishing with somebody or someone right next to you. A split shot is very useful. It's a lead weight that you can use when bobber fishing or using your snelled bait holder hook, and it'll drop the bait down towards the bottom. It's very easy to clasp right onto the line, and you can move it up and down the line depending on where the fish are. And if you're also casting out your line with a small hook on it, it'll make it easier to throw a little bit farther because it's got some extra weight on it. So again, if you're bobber fishing, start with your hook like I'm showing here and put the split shot 6 to 8 inches up from the hook, and that's all you got to do. It'll weight it down real nice. Okay, last tip 11, folks. Don't ever leave the house without having your fishing license before you ever think of going fishing. The money we spend on our fishing licenses does go to good causes like stocking fish and preserving natural habitats. It's just not worth getting caught if you get stopped by a fish and game warden and you don't have your license on you. It's not worth the risk. You can have your fish confiscated, or if it happens multiple times, you may have your license suspended. Don't ever let that happen to you. Fishing is the greatest sport on earth. Let's enjoy it. Let's have fun. Let's do it legally. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Please like this video, hit the subscribe button before you leave, and don't forget to enable your bell notifications so you never miss another great video coming your way.